Welcome to the Fire Breathing Kittens, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Thanks for listening, and you picked the perfect episode to start on, because these episodes can be listened to in any order. Feel free to look back at our back catalog and hear some fun adventures. I'm your DM. I have no name, no shape, so just picture me as a Mufasa-style cloud in the background of all of these scenes. Now our characters will describe themselves. Today we are joined by Cordelia.
Oh, howdy, y'all. My name's Cordelia. I'm a 6th level barbarian. I'm more of a soccer mom looking for that endorphin rush.
Jade.
Hello. Jade is a level 6 paladin. She has red skin, black eyes with no lights in them, like a horror movie villain, and horns on her head. But don't worry, she is very lawful. She was a town guard for the city of Nikimoy until she retired. She is 52 years old. And I'm using a character voice because sometimes it's hard to tell whether I'm in character or not, so that should help.
And of course, Gatsby.
I've got some bad news for you. Yes, that is right. 2 people are doing this accent. We're going to have a fantastic time of this, aren't we? But yes, I am Gatsby. I am a level 6 tiefling warlock. As always, I am joined by my faithful micro-pig, Daisy. I have pale maroon skin. I have greyish hair, purple eyes, and some short, sleek horns. I'm a journalist and a writer, and I'm always in search of the next story.
Wonderful. We join our 3 adventures today in front of a very tall, imposing tower that serves as the headquarters and factory for Aegis Industries. You 3 are here for a very special reason and chosen carefully, as 2 of you, I believe, are mothers, and 1 of you is an investigative journalist, cleverly disguised as a mother himself. Gatsby, would you like to describe your mother disguise?
Well, I think it's... I might have misread the brief a little bit because I am in fact dressed up as a nun. I had the word mother and, well, it's usually not the context in which I hear people call me mother, but I decided to go with it. But yes, I am in fact dressed up as a nun.
Wonderful. The camera pans across our paladin, our warlock, and our newly found clerical nun. We cut back to the reason why you're here. Gatsby, you are back at the offices of the newspaper you work for, in the office of Bill Bison Caraway, the, stocky, dwarven investigative journalist.
This guy, such a pain. Pain in the donkey.
Yes. He's not much of a fan of yours as well. But,
No.
You sit across from him at his desk, and he goes, I need a favor of you, Gatsby.
Billiam, the last time you asked me for a favor, we both ended up shirtless, covered in oil, and running away from the town guard. It was a good night, but... that's gonna haunt me.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Well, it was only a bad thing when the fine came through.
Oh, yeah, I'm still paying that off. He puts his hand to his head and kind of, rubs his skull. Well, anyway, I gotta pick up my girlfriend's kid from school and babysit him tonight. So I'm gonna have to miss out on this investigation. I'm working a pretty good lead about a corporate takeover and a mysterious new product that's about to hit the market. Thing is, the only way we can get in, they're focus testing this new product for local mothers in Nikimoy. So we're going to need you to take this recording equipment with you. And it's big, heavy, magical stones, meant for scrying and recording. Find a costume you can wear. Disguise yourself as a mother. And get into this taste test. If you know any other mothers around you, we can, have them come along with you as well. Put them on the list for free tickets to the focus test.
I will see what I can do. Now, I ask this every time, and you always give me the same answer. But how factually accurate do my reports need to be? Because you know me, I like to embellish the truth sometimes. It makes for much better reading. You're so insistent on factually accurate reports. It's a pain. Pain, Bill.
I wouldn't do this if there wasn't some benefit for you. I'm working a bigger case here, but I'll allow you to take this, the headline, or not, what's the byline, I think is the name of who wrote it. You can have the byline for this first story, and then just give me the recording equipment. I know your style. That's why I'm going to trust these devices here.
Bill, you know me so well. And in the back of my mind, I will be thinking, what a loser.
Cool, would you agree to take the story?
Oh, yes, of course. Why not? It's anything for a good story. And I know one or two people who may be able to help. Some mothers who may be at a loose end at the moment. If people are in school or abandoned somewhere, these things happen.
Awesome. Here's the dossier and what I got going on here.
Reading.
And upon reading, we cut away to, let's go with Cordelia's house. Cordelia, feel free to describe the house and the family you share it with.
Well, yeah. Pardon me. Our place, we live on the third level of a stone building on the outside skirts of the guild district. My husband Gregory, he's a mason, and he's working with the guild and hoping to become fully guild bonded in, the near future, which would mean perhaps an upgrade in housing, a bit closer to his work. And, my daughter, she's into soccer, and my son Hunter, he is always out in the woods, and he's convinced he's going to befriend a fox, and that's going to be his best friend, but it ain't happened yet.
Wonderful. It's like a pretty normal afternoon. You're at home. What's a normal activity you would be doing at home? You a cook? Do you have a hobby?
Yeah, once I get the kids off to their schooling and such, and make sure things are squared away around the house, probably get some food on for later, and then I run a little shoe shop for folks, and I make baby shoes.
Wonderful. So you're making baby shoes and such, and I guess Gatsby, would you like to hand deliver the invites or just have Bill send them out?
I think I should probably hand them out, because the less I have to rely on Bill, the better, in my personal opinion. Such a stickler for the rules.
Wonderful. So, Cordelia, you hear a knock, knock, knock on your door.
Well, yeah, I'll go answer it and throw open the door. You can see I've got some leather and some big old shears that I'm using to carve the toes out of for some shoes. And Gatsby. What brings me the pleasure?
Oh, finally, I got the right house. Sorry, I've been knocking on every single door on this road. They all look the same. Why is that?
Oh, yeah, the people who built this were absolute villains, I assure you. Oh, please, come on in.
Oh, okay. What's that I smell?
Oh, dinner's just on the in the hearth there. It's not quite done yet, but I can offer you some, or perhaps some tea.
Oh, yes. I will take some tea if that's okay. I have an interesting opportunity to send you away if you're particularly interested.
Well, yeah, of course. Please sit. And she'll get a kettle on, and we can talk shop.
So this is what the home looks like. I usually just sleep in the office. Maybe I should get one of these.
Well, you absolutely should. Terrible for the back and the mind, really.
Yes, I tend to have to actually sleep on the printing press. It's not particularly comfortable, and the ink gets everywhere.
Yeah, that sounds like something of a hazard.
Well, yes, but hey, part of the job.
I don't think that's a necessary part of the job, per se, but I also don't know the business.
You have not seen my contract.
No, I suppose I haven't. But I don't believe you come to talk about your contracts.
Oh, no, that is true. So I was approached earlier by a colleague. Well, I say colleague, bastard in the office, who said that there was this experimental product, which may need investigation because there's a little bit of behind it, if you know what I'm getting at. And so he suggested I find a few mothers around the place and just to go and investigate and see what's going on, see if we can't ingratiate ourselves into the situation.
Well, of course, I'd be happy to accompany you. Who else is on your mind?
Well, I was thinking I was going to say Olive, but then I remembered that she's out of town somewhere, and then I thought of, who was the other one? It was, never mind. I've got a terrible memory for names nowadays, which is admittedly a bad thing when,
aren't you a reporter?
You tell people you're a journalist. It's quite an important thing to remember names, but no, I wouldn't worry about it.
Do you change those to protect the innocent so you try and never remember them at all?
Yes. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, they used to do that on the Copper Badges stories that I would read.
Yes, that is absolutely correct, and not just a bad memory at all. But yeah, I did have a note that apparently Jade, if you know Jade.
Well, yeah, of course.
Apparently she is a mother. Who knew?
Oh, I hope she did.
Well, I mean, you would have thought so, but hey, it's a strange world. It's entirely possible.
Well, yeah, let me pull this supper off, and I'll leave instructions for Gregory to pick it up, and we can scoot.
Okay, hang on, let me just...
This is really hot, Sally.
Oh, that was quite a hot cup of tea. I probably should not have drunk that all in one, but...
Yeah, you seem to have a bit of a streak for the reckless. I think we'll get along just dandy.
It's okay. I technically have fire resistance, I think. I always have to check my character sheet, but I'm pretty confident that I'm okay.
Your character sheet, is that in your dossier? Wow.
Oh yes.
Sure
it's basically just it's an information fact file if you want to get the technical term for it. But I have one on most people I meet, just so I remember facts. I don't write their name on it for reasons.
How do you know which lines up to who?
I draw a very crude picture.
Well, after all this investigation, I would very much like to see my file, if that's all right.
Oh no, you wouldn't.
Well,
you look
we'll
like
see.
a turnip with ears.
All right, and with that, we're going to cut over to Jade's house. Jade, would you like to describe your home and family?
Sure. I guess I'll do this not in character voice because it'd be weird for her to say it. Jade lives with Alice, her wife. Alice is very fond of flowers, so in the front of the house there's a flower bed. Jade doesn't really see the point, but Alice likes it, so there's a flower bed. Married people know. And Alice is a jewelry maker by profession, so they can afford to live a little bit like out of town and not have to travel in every day. Jade was a city guard for many, many years, so she would just ride the train into the city center, and it sort of like all the commuting pressure was on her. So they live pretty far away from the center of town. And Alice makes jewelry in her workshop, and just like, so there's a workshop in the house, and then sells her jewelry in bulk to large cities and overseas, and that's why they live out in the middle of kind of nowhere. And there's 2 empty rooms because her children just moved out for college. The youngest just moved out. Oh.
Sad, but sweet. Are you up to anything in particular on this day?
She's reading the newspaper way too much nowadays. She's been retired for 2 years, and that's why Alice told her to get out of the house and join the guild or do something, because it's like, gosh, stop scrolling through that news feed. Sheesh, just set the newspaper down and go do something. So she is reading the newspaper right now. She's like, oh, look at all of these criminals. They need to be apprehended with my tankard. For my color is doing.
You just hear from the other room, like, no adventures today, hon? Knock, knock, knock.
Yeah, people. She's way too excited. She goes to the door and answers it. Hello. I am Jade.
You say this to
kidding. I
your,
don't say
your
that.
friend. Yeah, I'm gonna start
Cordelia.
introducing myself to my. I'm gonna start introducing myself to my friends who already know me.
Well,
Hello.
hi, Jade. I'm still Cordelia.
Hello, Cordelia, Gatsby. Oh, it brings you to my humble abode.
Oh, so you're Jade. And I will just take a little notebook out and cross something out. Go, okay. Oh, I'm glad Cordelia knew where you lived. Because I thought it was on the other side of town. That would have been embarrassing.
Yeah, I use the Fire-Breathing Kittens records books. Are you not familiar?
Oh no, reading is not part of my contract, just writing.
Oh, well, we'll make quite the team then.
I'm glad.
Anyway, we've come because...
Yes. So, Jade, if that is indeed your real name. Sorry.
Do you know? You do not know any. What?
Force of habit.
How dare
Force of
you?
habit.
It's not.
Yes, so there is this investigation you may be interested in. I know as an ex-member of the town guard, you spend quite a lot of time investigating yourself, so I think you may be particularly interested in this, especially as it also concerns mothers and other mother-type things.
Okay.
So, maybe come in and sit down. I have a bit of a throat burn, so I will leave Cordelia to fill you in with the details.
Yeah, I am sorry about that.
Oh, it happens. It happens. Don't worry about it. I've been burned before. Mostly by acid, but, tea is good too, I guess.
You've been drinking acid? Perhaps we should move on. Yeah, there's an investigation about mothers, and if there's anything we can do to help out, I signed up immediately. So, where are we headed?
At this point, you would all kind of notice that Gatsby has been, carrying around a dossier, or.
Oh, yes. So I have this big folder of paper and information. It says dossier on it. I get the feeling it may be useful in the investigation. Maybe say where we need to go or who to contact or that sort of thing. But once again, reading is not really my contract, so I will just hand it off to you. Well, I will pass it to Jade for inspection.
Alice swoops in and is just extremely welcoming. So I'm going to try for that. He goes, "Oh, hi, y'all. Y'all come into the garden. We got a table in there, and I will get you some tea. We can have a lovely sit down. Jade, what were you doing? You got to be kind and welcoming to your guests." And so there's like this white table in the garden with white chairs, and there's flowers all around it. And Alice brings out tea and baked goods and offers them to you guys.
Well, this is lovely. Your place is gorgeous. I don't mind telling you, I'm a little bit jealous. It's a beautiful place you have here. And thank you for this, the bakeries. And wow, we sure are lucky.
I have got to be honest, I'm completely out of my depths with this. Does anyone have any seedy back alley or dark underbridge that I can hang out? Because this is all a bit strange.
But now we have a table to spread the dossier out on and really examine and read.
So, the dossier, simple facts that you guys can just get from this. You open it up and you see that it's like highlighted passages from multiple different sources. You see like different types of parchment, so they're clearly coming from multiple places. There's a small stack of pictures that have been like put together by sort of like a clip. And just by like looking over it, and it's like annotated with notes and things like that. So it's a little bit of a jumble of facts. So you guys will need to get investigation checks to like see what this guy's like put together his red string theory board in this dossier. But there are some facts that are easy to glean. The location of Aegis Industries. It has been around for about 30 years, but the CEO changed. The timeline with FBK is always a little murky, but let's say a few months ago. I think that should be about roughly when the season, The new CEO is named Bud Deluxo. There's a picture of him. The product that's coming out is called Soul Fizz. Oh, Bud Deluxo seems to be a pretty generic looking but very well built human man, like late middle age. This product Soul Fizz, like from what they've seen in these market tests, is going to be a massive hit. It's like if someone invented Coca-Cola, basically. But the like rumor is it has some sort of magical properties to it. But, you know, he's never been able to really get into one of these taste tests to see himself. That's why, you know, he was going to do a disguise thing, and he's having you guys go as mothers. From that on, it was also the time of the focus group, like, some tickets basically saying that, like, you're allowed to be there. From there forward, let's get investigation checks.
14.
That'll be a 9.
As I said, the reading is really not my speciality because I got a 6.
Okay, so, Cordelia and Gatsby, pretty much just what I told you guys. His notes are too, like, vague and dense and across too many different sources, that you were like, I don't know what this guy's getting at. But Jade, there is something about this Bud Deluxo that looks like painfully familiar to you. Like, you also, like, he's seen with, like, a much younger woman very often who's also very well built like him. But, like, intense, like, blonde hairdos, like, almost like anime style. But yeah, there's, like, something that sticks out to you about this guy. It's hard to put a pin in it, though. Also, today, this focus test and why it's so important to get into this one, you realize that, Consent Creameries Incorporated and Horde Holdings are going to be sending representatives here, potentially on the subject of a merger. So that's what you get from your investigation check. You guys are looking at the papers. It's all spread on the table. Feel free to discuss your theories, and then we'll cut right back to the beginning in front of the building.
This looks like it was a lot of work to put together. That's why I don't do that. It looks like it took forever. I would much prefer just to be able to sit at my desk and start typing away happily, use my imagination to conjure whatever extra little details or anecdotes which makes a story better to read, sells more copies. That's what we really want. But this must have taken weeks to put together, and look where it gets us. Nowhere.
Have you considered perhaps moving to fiction as a specialty?
I'm already in fiction, my friend.
I read so many newspapers that, I wish more journalists realized that too.
See, at least I'm honest. Apart from all the lies I print.
Yeah, Cordelia just choose to let that one lie. And now it looks like there's perhaps a merger and a new CEO. I'm not big on the corporate world, but do you think they're trying to use this product to facilitate that in some way? I don't know. Is any of that illegal?
Well, that depends on how good your lawyer is.
I am very certain for one thing about white-collar crime, and that is that the laws are indeed as your lawyer makes them to be. It's one of the areas where the law is not too clear on who is a criminal and who is just very wealthy.
Well, do we know any lawyers?
Well, not any good ones, unfortunately.
Well, then it'll just have to be us. We'll put our minds to it, and we'll figure something out.
Awesome. We will return to the front of Aegis Industries. You're standing there. Gatsby has donned his mother's costume. Are you proficient with, like, a disguise kit? Do you have one of those? Or is this just going to be
I doubt it. I probably just stole it from a nunnery.
Okay.
Like convent. That's the actual word for it, not a nunnery.
Are you attempting to make your face feminine in any way?
No.
Okay.
Maybe some whipped cream. Maybe I'll just say I got out of the shower.
Perfect plan. So you are, it like in no way affects your character, but you do have, like, you're basically wearing a wire, like a pretty, like, not heavy, but like weighty set of crystals under your habit. So yeah, take it in hand. You walk into this tower. It's a lush, like marble floored, high ceiling, like reception area, like for an office building. There's a small circular desk where like 3, like receptionists are taking calls. One of them seems to be like notice you and sort of like regards you. Hi, can I help you?
So I will just quickly lean over to the other two and just have a quick whisper. Now, I will be putting on a character for this, so just bear that in mind. Don't get lost in the illusion. It is me underneath, so just remember that. Don't mix me up with someone else. Yes, hello. How are you, dearie?
Oh, very well. I don't want to take a leap here, but are we here for the product testing?
Oh, yes, we are.
Oh, wonderful. She, like, does a small cantrip, puts a, like, floating globe with, like, a little arrow in it, and goes, this will lead you, it's just down the hall on your right. You'll see there's a sign on the door, but this globe will help you get there. This building can be a little confusing.
Oh, thank you very much, dearie. I like your hair.
Oh, thank you very much. Do you guys head in that?
Let's go.
Yeah. So you, like, kind of like, you guys glance over your shoulder and you see that they're, like, tittering, like, that was the oddest looking woman.
I've just got out of the shower.
Oh, they all say in unison. Okay. So are you guys going to stick to the path, head directly to the product test, or snoop about?
The question is, do we successfully do either of those things on purpose?
Well, there is the globe to lead you directly to the product testing room, so that one you could do on purpose reasonably easy.
Yeah, do we want to take a look around the places that they don't necessarily want us to be, or should we maybe see what's going on first and then split off?
You know, the section on breaking and entering says that if you're invited here and you need to find the bathroom, I mean, it's entirely within the law to try to find it.
Well, some town god you are.
I am very knowledgeable about the law and investigations.
But yes, I think
Well, great,
maybe
you can
we
be our
should-
lawyer. Where do you suggest?
Y'all don't trust cops. Seriously? Don't trust cops.
I do think it would be a good idea to maybe have a little bit of a sneak around on the basis that, seeing as we have just arrived, it's very easy to get lost. And, I mean, no one's going to suspect 3, innocent-ish looking mothers. If we just say, oh no, we got lost, we couldn't read the directions properly. Oh no! Would you happen to point me back in the direction of wherever it is we are meant to be going?
You know, even better than that, there is this term called civil asset forfeiture, where if we suspect that there is a crime being performed on these premises, then the premises themselves must defend themselves in a court of law.
Oh, that sounds like way too much effort.
So we must
Can
go
we not just
investigate.
wander in, have a good time, and then maybe sort a crime later?
Yes, and it is entirely lawful. Let's go. So we all agree that we're not going right to the place, right, Cordelia?
Well, sure.
All right. Yeah, I think that's what just happened.
Let's break off. Left is right and right is wrong.
But we're doing things for various different levels of legality in mind.
Neat. So let's get like stealth checks from everyone
Oh no.
if we're gonna be sneaky, and investigations to kind of like see which rooms are important and not accidentally find the bathroom.
Well, that's a 5 on the die for
it's
both
a
of them.
useful thing to know. I'm just going to say, sometimes you'll want to find the bathroom.
That's a 6 or 7 stealth and a 6 investigation for Cordelia.
Great. Miss
Oh, I
Jade.
like the sound of that sigh.
I have disadvantage and -1 on stealth, so that's a 0.
Oh,
But a 12
hell yeah.
investigation.
Great.
I'm wearing heavy armor, you guys.
Meanwhile, I got an unnatural 20 for stealth, so the exact opposite, and a 13 for the investigation.
Okay, so for these group checks, the stealth will have failed, unfortunately. But the investigation passed, so that's cool. Basically, you get sort of, like, turned around in the hallways, end up back close to the, like, central room, and one of the receptionists looks at you and sort of just waves you back down the hallway. So you know you've been made. But
Damn
on
my
the,
method acting. We actually did get lost.
No, we were supposed to rightly go left, or we were left to go right, or it was right to go left. Now I'm all turned around, and I know I can look at my hands, but I don't remember which way I'm supposed to hold them, and it's been a thing. Where's the little girl's room?
she waves her hand, and like a smaller arrow appears in the orb, pointing another direction.
Well, thank you kindly. You're a dear.
Cool. So I guess your mini-map's been updated. You wander around the hallways a little bit more, and you find access to what appears to be a factory floor. Like a sort of like a door that leads downstairs, and you hear like the whir of machinery coming from sort of like below you through the floor. The sign on it says production.
Now, this is a long shot, but do you think we could find a high visibility jacket and a hard hat to put on and go for wonder? Because, as we know, if you wear a high visibility jacket, you can go anywhere.
The nun with the high visibility jacket. Yes.
I read that book, actually.
Perception check for high visibility jackets, or could I assist?
It has to be it's a very low roll because they are high visibility.
Yes.
Yeah, but you do have to be looking in the right place.
Let's get just a flat luck check first, but then perception will be at advantage because they are high visibility.
Well, I rolled a 16 just on straight.
Cool. Beautiful.
13 here.
This
All
is
right.
a single person check, right? Says the person who got an 8.
I mean, to will high visibility jackets into existence, things get a little murky. So I'll take what was rolled, no matter where it's coming from. The motherly instincts of Cordelia is like, all right, safety, boom, high visibility jackets. And you see, like, basically on the other side of the door before you enter the area, there's like a coat rack with a bunch of like slightly dirty, you know, these are like not single person jackets, but high visibility vest.
Well, perfect. Good instinct. Let's just look like we belong, yeah?
Yes, maybe I should just quickly wipe this shaving cream off my face, just so I got another layer of disguise. And so, don't worry, I've got some more for later, so I can put it back on.
I was a bit concerned. I'm glad you have that.
Yes, but at least my skin is very smooth.
Disguise kits are mostly shaving cream.
Yes, they don't actually tell you that. They charge you more for the official disguise kits, but a can of shaving cream does 90% of the work.
Yeah, they really are just selling you on the name. It's like when you plan a wedding. So, high visibility vests on, disguises adjusted. You walk down a few set of stairs onto a catwalk. You see that this production area is entirely underground. you see it looks like a pretty standard, like, soda factory. There's large tanks of bubbling, sort of like dark purple liquid, tubes filled with this same liquid that go into nozzles that fill it up into bottles that are then stoppered, dipped in wax, and then labeled. You see a very poppy, like fun yellow label that says Soul Fizz, like in like a bubbly sort of logo bubble letters. Give me Arcana or Perception, please, to like look deeper into this like at a glance.
Well, I am pleased to announce to the wider audience that I rolled a natural 20.
Ooh, for which one were you doing?
Probably Arcana. I have a +5.
Perfect.
Nice.
Cordelia and Jade? Cordelia?
That's a 17. Arcana for me as well.
16 perception.
Cool. So, Cordelia and Jade's, like, you're like, something's funky. There's, like, things are glowing. So, that's always magic. Jade, you notice a big, like, round sort of globe that, like, a lot of these nozzles are leading up to that is covered by a big sheet. And you're like, oh, that's just very suspicious. And, Gatsby, Nat 20. This is some sort of processing plant that they're getting whatever is in this Soul Fizz from inside that globe.
There are some interesting things going on, ladies and ladies. Sorry, I'm used to hanging around with a slightly more diverse crowd, but it's the way it must be sometimes. But yes, it appears that whatever is going into these bottles is coming out of that big glowy globe over there.
Oh, that globe.
Yeah, that globe, yes. It reminds me, funnily enough, a little bit of a story I read some years ago, in fact, also from Nicomoy. There was this story of an energy drink which was forcing people to work a bit too much, and you know how I like to do. Any work is too much work, but yes, it was a strikingly similar situation. So I would, at best, advise caution on drinking too much of this. You can drink a little bit, that's fine. Any doctors will tell you that moderation is absolutely fine, but try not to down too much. Although if you do, I will gladly write up your obituary.
Well, that's mighty kind of you. What is it we actually suspect is happening here?
Or some sort of funky magic.
You know, I think we are just here for a taste test, and I was just told that a little bit is okay. So
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page and a bit parched myself, so... Cling, cling, y'all.
I'm not going to stop you. You two are consenting adults. Let me just get my notebook.
recently I have been drinking a lot of poison because part of being a paladin is we must train ourselves, a little bit of iocane powder every day. And soon we will be completely resistant to iocane powder. So Jade can't get poisoned because she's a paladin. So
perhaps you should do it first, and if you ain't dead in maybe a minute or so, I'll join you right after.
But Gatsby's point well, you can put magical potions inside the liquids and sneak them into people without dosing them without their permission is also very valid. So I will try just a little bit, but if someone has to try it, it would be me. Is this like a fully staffed production area, or is this all automatic with like magical robots?
A little bit of both. There is a sort of skeleton staff of
Skeletons.
There's one skeleton there. But they all seem to be magical types as they're doing like magical incantations, but unseen servants seem to be doing most of the work here. I rolled a check for them. They seem to notice you, kind of like narrow their eyes. You can tell they think in their head, oh, high visibility vests, and then kind of go back to their work. They rolled high enough to see you, not high enough to care. So you can
in that sort of job, no roll is high enough to care.
Exactly. This guy works on the factory floor. He has no vested interest. Vested interest?
Mild correction, I'm immune to disease, not poison. So I've been eating smallpox, not Iocane powder. But I can neutralize poison with lay on hands. Okay, that's what it was.
Beautiful.
You are poisoning your wife and then curing her.
Oh,
No wonder she wants you to get out of the house.
yes. Oh my gosh.
It's just like every morning I'm picturing you're like, all right, time to take my lidocaine powder. Honey, that's not your thing, remember? Now finish your botulism. Too good. So sorry, you can just basically go up to one of the conveyor belts with like a finished or like before the wax seal's put on, just kind of grab one. Like, are you taking like a shot glass full, or just like tipping your tongue to it when you say just a bit?
All right, so just to let you guys know, because out of character, like we would all know this, the things that I have are lesser restoration and protection from poison, 2 spells that mean any one of us could do this. So if you all want to savor the flavor, it's whoever wants it.
I mean, I play a head first barb. I'm down to do it.
I would not think to deprive you of that taste, especially when I have to take notes.
And I just remembered Jade only eats stuff that Alice cooks, so actually, Barb.
Well, that's a lot of pressure on your wife, you know. What if she would just want a day off?
Also, that applies to beverages as well.
I guess so. I wrote it down. I don't know.
Does she make good water?
She has to milk the cow before you'll have a glass of milk.
Does she have to grow the wheat for you to eat a bagel?
This is getting a little problematic at this point. Or does she just have to physically pour all your drinks for you? It's the act of her doing it that's important to you.
Perhaps we shouldn't grill her. I'm sorry, your private life is your own. Bottoms up, y'all.
No, the DM Cloud's interested in this. No, I'm kidding.
Cordelia rushes in. I have protection from poison and lesser restoration prepared if you start to die.
Thanks.
Of one of the 2 things we can fix. If it's magical, nice knowing you.
Hey, DM, do I start to die?
So how much are you ingesting?
I'll take a good glug, maybe a third of a bottle.
Perfect. And we'll compare this to maybe just like a can of Coke. You know, like there's a roughly that amount, you know. Maybe a little bit bigger. So you slug a bunch back. Super pleasant, sort of like berry taste. It fizzes like really hard. And as you like swallow it, you feel it kind of keep fizzing like into your chest, and it gives you like a little energy boost, like a pep in your step, like, whoa, like that feels really nice. Could you roll a wisdom saving throw, please?
That's not my favorite.
Yep, Gatsby was right.
That's a 14?
Wonderful. So you like, ooh, and you feel like something, like you feel very energized, which will have a secondary effect. But like you feel like, you know, you're a barbarian, you've raged before, you're like, I could rage so good right now.
Whew. Y'all, I feel great. We should just do power walking just everywhere right now.
As you think like power walking, you like step and like, woo, like you're like, ooh, I'm moving fast, and have gained 10 feet to your movement speed.
Whew. Yeah, she's really fighting the urge to just Daffy Duck bounce around.
No like ill effects though, just a real good buzz. Like you're thinking back to the dossier about like how this thing's supposed to take over the market, and you're like, I feel it.
Yeah, I could see this selling pretty well. I feel great. Do you guys want to drink some? You should drink some. It feels wonderful. Why are you taking so slow to answer?
The camera does that thing where it's pointed directly up at your face, and as you move, like, it follows your shoulders. Everything's blurry in the back. No. Like I said, no true ill effects.
I am a little bit concerned that you may be affected by this substance, so if you do not mind, I just power walk over to me for 1 second.
She's there.
Oh my gosh. Whew. I like do a little half step back. I lay on hands. I can expend 5 hit points from my pool of healing out of 30 at this level. Done. To cure the target of one disease or neutralize one poison affecting it. So just in case Cordelia was poisoned or diseased, I can cure multiple diseases and neutralize multiple poisons with a single use of lay on hands, expecting hit points separately for each one. So, and if you're undead or a construct, Cordelia, I can't help you. I should have said that before.
I don't believe I'm either, though possibly diseased. Check out episode, which one was that?
Yeah.
Dusty Deeds?
You have like less virus from a bat.
Okay, I mean, you can cure that if you want. Like, you feel something in there.
Oh, I like touch you and I'm like, oh, did you know that you had a rabies-like disease inside you? Where did you get that?
Well, I had suspected. We made some friends. They were bats, but we just had different means of communication and showing thank yous is all.
Does it give you disease?
Well, a little bit.
Do not thank me for any of my hospitality earlier today. Thank you.
No, thank you. I had botulism for breakfast.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to want those. Oh gosh.
I'm starting to think maybe it's a good thing I don't have a home. If this is the sort of thing that keeps going on, rabies and botulism. I'll just sleep on my printing press. I'm fine.
Loving homes are rife with disease.
I expend a second 5. Do I feel like I cured anything?
You attempt to,
Ooh.
but like I'm not gonna burn 5 of your hit points for no. Like, you don't, like, you're reaching around spiritually into Cordelia. And, like, you feel the one disease, and you're like, all right, gonna grab that one out of there. And just, like, a little smoke goes like, no, disappears into the air. And you don't feel any other ill effects there.
Well, I feel great. That was wonderful.
You are clean. Whatever this is not a disease or a poison.
Well, that's great to know. So it's totally safe. Everybody should drink up. Drink.
We'll say about a minute has passed. You still feel energized, but you feel like that sort of boon to your speed and your, like, what would have been your rage, sort of fade into the background. Just a DM note. This is effective for 10 combat rounds, 1 minute. But seeing as you're out of battle, time moves very quick. You know, like, actually at a regular pace.
Mm-hmm.
But you still feel energized like you just had, you know, a double espresso.
However, for the time being, we should probably just take a couple of these, just in case we need them later, for documentation or hostage taking, should it come up.
Yes, I agree. Oh, hostage. Wait, yes. Let's take the.
I'm just thinking, you know, if the time comes and we need to force a CEO, for example, to drink his own product, then I just want to be prepared.
Acid forfeiture, and I pocket like a few of them.
Was this about acid?
Acid.
Oh, acid. So I thought you said acid.
I hope this is not acid. And I look at it. Is it acid?
Well, I guess we'll find out in a couple of minutes. Tends to burn through quite quickly.
Oh.
Yeah, Cordelia pops like a balloon. Sorry, bye.
Next character.
Yeah.
Oh, not another
I'll
one.
roll one up real quick.
Don't just take your headphones off. Leave the call.
Oh.
No, you're like I said, you're fine, unexploded. It appears to be just an acid, not an asset, not an acid. It's turning into a real who's on first. So, yeah, you pocket, what were you going to do, like one bottle each?
I mean,
Or
I
how
can
many?
probably fit a couple up the old habit.
Yeah, I mean, you're strapped for, like, stuff, so you can jam. Just, how many would you like?
Maybe, let's see, one to take for, one to give to Bill, one to slip into Bill's drink, so that's 2. One to take hostage with, one for me for late nights, and then one to sell on for circus usage, so 5.
Cool. Jade, Cordelia, would you, how many of you guys, civil?
I'm just going to take one more fresh one for the road.
I will take 5 because if these are indeed the next big things, and I would like to give them to I'd like to poison my friends. I'd like to be the new trending mom on the town with all the latest things. This is like stealing Tickle Me Elmo's.
Who's Tickle Me Elmer? That guy sounds terrifying.
Yeah, I'm Elmer. You can go ahead and give me a tickle.
Yes, he hangs out under the bridge I sometimes go to. You don't want to be there when he's in a tickling mood, let me tell you.
He's fun to tickle. Elmer has a good time when he hangs out with his friends.
This is not the tickling podcast. Okay.
But if you're interested in Ticklecast, listen to. Okay, so where is your next destination? You could still probably attempt to go to the product test if you want, or you can continue to sneak around the building. Enough time has passed where the receptionist that you saw before would probably assume, because they didn't see you again, that you have made your way. So, don't go into the situation thinking you're still, at a negative. It's a fresh start.
Yeah, I think maybe we should be where we're supposed to be and see what they want us to think about all this.
Yes, I think that is probably for the best. If we don't want to raise too much suspicion for the time being. Let me just...
Let me help you feather that out a little bit. There you go.
Sorry, you got a bit in my eye.
I'm sorry about that. I'm still a little jittery.
This is shaving cream for the listener. On her face. The nun's face.
Well, it's actually a mix of shaving cream and whipped cream, so you can use it to shave or eat.
It's not great at either one.
It's good in any sort of situation if you want to. Yeah, just make your skin all moist and soft, or maybe you've just got a stack of waffles that you
need to shave.
You've got some hairy waffles.
I mean, they do also do a botulism variant if you are so inclined, but that's more popular in the criminal underworlds than the breakfast market.
And you have to find those. Those are for you to discover. It's an investigation trick too.
Wow, we just have very different breakfasts.
There's that classic scene. The guy who's selling botulism whipped cream shaving cream mix, just like, I don't know why it's not selling. It's got to be our marketing. Speaking of marketing, it sounds like we are headed up to the product testing room.
Just one more. It's because that cream wasn't obtained with consent. Okay.
Ooh. Consent butter. Which is now expanded to consent creameries, appears by what you learned in the dossier. You head back up the stairs, rehang your high visibility vests, I assume, or are you taking those with you?
I think we should pocket those. Maybe not.
Oh yes,
wear them,
never give up a high visibility jacket.
Alright, cool. Everyone can add one high visibility jacket to their character sheets. It does have a logo for Aegis Industries, which is a cog on a shield with an A inside of the cog. You head up, enter into a pretty sizable sized conference room. It's big enough for maybe there's a long table big enough to sit maybe 2 dozen, but there's about 8 other women of about your age, basically like old enough to reasonably have kids. Some lean a little bit younger, some lean a little bit older to get like a wide array of people. There is a dwarven woman who's like dressed in like a tight sort of business suit, like a pair of like black frame glasses, with a clipboard. There's like little cups, pitchers of water out on the table, and you see like on a like rolling cart, a few bottles of this soul fizz. When you enter, she goes, there we go. I think those are the last 3 we're waiting on. Feel free, take a seat.
I center myself creatively. Oh, hello, dearie. Yes, sorry, we got a bit late. Not late, we are late. We got a bit lost. Sorry. We were looking for the bathroom and we got all muddled.
Wonderful. Could you just give me a deception real quick?
Oh, it's not a deception. We did actually get lost.
Very true. All right. With the absolute hint of truth in your voice, I'll allow that one to skate. And,
Well, I rolled a 17. Yeah, but then I'll have maybe a +4 on the old charisma, so that's probably a bit extra too, if I'm honest, but I'm not looking at that bit right now. If you're interested, I've got a +7 to deception, so that's a 24.
Perfect. Legal, always. Perfect. So you take a seat. She gives a quick spiel.
We gotta have the mother's reaction to Daisy, the world's adorablest micro pig.
Oh, that's right. Just the collective cooing of nearly a dozen mothers, just like, oh, it's so cute. Like, sort of, Daisy's like trotting on the table, and everyone is just very impressed.
Daisy is currently wearing some tiny red boots as well, so that doesn't help matters.
Who supplies your pig boots? Do you have somebody? Is there somebody who's already taken care of that, or maybe you look for somebody else who can help out?
Oh, don't worry about the horse, dearie. And I lean over and say, they just turn up. I don't know. I don't question
Got haunted pig boots?
I think Daisy's eating children.
Well, I wouldn't rule that out, but I don't ask too many questions.
Yeah, the camera zooms in the reflection of Daisy's eye, and you just see a burning hellscape.
And then the mother's all coo about it again. It's perfect.
Look, she's so excited. She's got a little glisten in her eye. And
like, she's licking her lips.
Oh, someone's hungry. All right, quiet it down. I will eat. Ladies.
Did Cordelia make the shoes for the child? No, keep going.
Yeah, the person running the taste test is like, all right, ladies, the pig is very cute and has little boots on. That's adorable. But if maybe we're a little bit parched and we can try our new drink that's hitting the market. We've collected you mothers here today, because you know how it is. You gotta work. You gotta take care of the house. You have to take care of the children. You gotta take care of your partner. And they all kind of go like, oh, And it goes, our drink is aimed at people who just need a pick-me-up. And a pick-me-up to really help them in their way. Let your soul fizz. And then also like runs down a couple more slogans like, soul fizz, we're the fizziest. Let out your soul. And then everyone's kind of like, I don't know which one we like. And we go, okay, we'll go back to the slogan. Thank you.
And this is SOUL, soul, right?
Yeah, this is SOUL.
Not the only fizz, or the shoe leather fizz.
Or the fish fizz. This is not fish fizz. Right. So yeah, you see she cracks it, walks around, basically like pours it into like the empty cups that were at everyone's table. It's about like a shot, like less than you glugged in, but like a good amount. And everyone just kind of like, ooh, and you see bubble, and then you see a couple of them kind of like sort of like is ooh, and just like a light cantrip. Or, like, another one's, like, kind of like, whoo, and does, like, a thorn whip. And, some of them appear to be manifesting minor cantrips. And they kind of, like, giggle and, like, are flaring it off. And they're like, all right, ladies, how do we like it? And, everyone's, like, marking off on their scorecard, like, 10s all the way down.
I mean, we have to drink it now. Like, I definitely drink it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, would you like to willingly failure check Cordelia? Because you know basically what happened last time. So if you want these same effects to happen again, you can kind of like relax and let your soul fizz.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. Let me roll a d6. And then could I get wisdom saving throws from the other two of you?
I would like to feed some to Daisy.
Okay.
I would like to just pull out a little bowl, pour some in, put it on the tabletop, and she will just shuffle over and dip her snoot in and lick up a little bit.
Lick, lick, lick. Snort, snort, snort. Very cute. And then just fires an eldritch blast down the length of the table. Just kind of like sneezes and boom, smoking hole in the wall.
It reminds me of the stars burning out one by one. They fizz too.
Was that in like Infernal or something?
Oh yes, that was in my head.
Oh, okay.
No one else hears that. It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Wunderbar. Would you like to drink any yourself?
I'll take a quick sip. I'll see what the fuss is all about, but I'm not going to have the whole thing.
Cool. Wisdom saving throws, please.
13.
Perfect. And Jade?
Paladin. So 17.
Cool. So you feel like this magical effect sort of taking place in your body, and you have sense enough to kind of like shut it down. Similar to what Cordelia was like, so you can either relax or shut it down. What would you like to do?
Retired people are really, really bored and want to try new things. So Jade just tries it.
Cool. So, I'll go ahead and just tell you the mechanical effects so you can note these for the future. Cordelia, that thing that was happening to your rage, you can either increase your bonus to damage while raging by 2, or I know they took it out in 5th edition, but in 3.5 it was called damage reduction. You basically have an additional 3 points of damage reduction. So, like, you would half while raging, -3. Lasts for a minute, and it's a potion. So, it's not a regular magical effect. Once you use it once, it's gone.
Sweet.
And then there's a chart, which I'll put on the chat or something. You basically roll for a cantrip. So everybody will have that. Jade, an additional 10 points to your lay on hands pool.
Whoa.
Or you can restore a spell slot.
Whoa.
Yeah. And again, one use, and then roll on the cantrip chart. And then for our warlock friend, same restore a spell slot, which is even better for a warlock. There's the invocation that adds your charisma to your Eldritch Blasts. That it would basically double it if you already have it, or add your charisma to your Eldritch Blast. You would add twice your charisma. And then let me roll on the chart real quick. It is Druidcraft for Jade and Produce Flame for Gatsby. There's also one that's just a bonus to movement speed, and Cordelia's rolled that twice, so it's the movement speed again for you.
Sweet.
Cool. So there's your little statted up potions if you so wish to use them, but everybody for the next minute kind of like, ho ho ho, I've got a new little thing.
So we are going to like make parties with our friends and you know, introduce this soul fizz to all of our friends. You know, it could be the soul fizz parties.
Yeah, I would love that.
Cool. So everyone goes around the table basically saying their opinions on it. It's all very favorable reviews. They hand out basically a scorecard to rate the drink itself. And in maybe 30 minutes, this is all over and done with.
Do we get to give our opinions or ask questions? Or
yeah, if you would like to, feel free. I didn't want to force soda reviews on all you guys, but go ahead.
This is delicious. I've never had anything that feels like that. What berries do you use, and what makes it so bubbly?
We have a proprietary blend of berries from a farm to the east, and we use a mix of natural and magical carbonation. Would you guys like to make insight checks?
Yes, I would.
Oh,
That's
ladies
17.
and more ladies. This is my second natural 20 of the session.
Ooh.
This is... Oh,
I'm gonna
Sacre
let
bleu.
Gatsby just take this one. Don't worry about your roll, Jade. Gonna be hard to beat a nat 20. I mean, did you roll another nat 20?
No.
Okay, cool. Would have been sick. But Gatsby, you know a liar when you see one. You are
yes.
a liar by trade.
I am one of myself.
Exactly. And
Takes one to know one, as they say.
And this one knows one. Everything she just said, aside from the part about natural and magical carbonation, was a lie. That farm, like, not even, it's not farmed, but you like, I don't think there's even any berries in this.
Oh, dearie, I mean, you say so many nice things, but how could we be sure? I mean, would it be possible for you to maybe take us around the plant so we can have a look ourselves?
You're giving a tour? Oh, I feel so energized. Can I get everybody up? We're gonna take this tour.
Help action.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for leading it.
Okay, so
I am also very excited. Let's go.
yeah, is this a persuasion check to get everybody up and moving towards the factory floor, or to get a tour yourselves?
I think whatever works.
I think it's getting the masses moving.
Cool. All right, I got my DC.
To make it pretty much impossible for it to be shut down.
Because I get the feeling that if it's aimed at mothers, they'd be quite concerned about what's in it, just in case their kids get a hold of it.
Perfect. Let's
if
get
my
a
understanding of mothers is anything to go by.
Yeah, my experience as well. Let's get that persuasion check then.
Yes, of course, that is a 22 on the persuasion.
I'd like to help you, if that's possible, with my enthusiasm and ability to grant others literal speed with my aspect of the beast, whether mounted or on foot. Our travel pace is doubled. So y'all are moving.
You have herded child. Like, yeah, you know how to get a group moving. Perfect. Do you want to take that advantage then?
Well, yes, I mean, we can always try and improve. And that did not improve things, so a 22 it is.
Still enough to where they all sort of, like the seagulls or whatever, natural ingredients. Like, yes, it's very important. I feed my children natural diet. I feed my children natural diet as well. And then they are sort of moving, and the dwarven woman running in. It's like, oh, no, let's all stay in the room.
Oh, that's so kind of you to show us all those natural berries. Come on. Let's go see them.
Yes, everybody, let's go. Down hallway. Oh, it's to the left. Because I know where it is.
Yeah. Perfect. You guys heard them into the factory. This group of, like, this herd of mothers. Is there a term for a group of mothers? A clutch?
A clutch purse. A clutch works.
PTA of mothers? A clutch. Okay, so this clutch of mothers is, like, moving in. They're like, oh, it's so big. It's so clean. Where are the berries? Was that the berries? They're going to make a group perception check. I'll give it advantage because there's a bunch of them. And they, like, all basically are pointing up at the globe and go like, oh, the berries must be in there. Where do you load the berries from? And at this point, the factory workers are, like, looking up and like, oh no, I definitely don't get paid enough for this. And like, are sort of like moving away and trying to stay out of conversation range with any of these parents. What is the group up to?
Yeah, what do you think? Do we want to herd them through the production line till we find actual ingredients? This is just the bottling room, yeah?
Yes, while topping them off every time they start to look down or they're going to crash, we give them more.
Okay. Let's...
Were you not expecting a stampede of mothers?
No. I planned for a lot, and like many
Factory workers
opportunities.
certainly weren't.
Yeah. There was so many options for chaos, I left myself a blind spot, and of course my group is like, haha, gotcha there. Bet you didn't dust to make a mommy militia. Great. So, yeah, they are super buzzing. They got all jazzed. And one of them, who has like the mage hand cantrip, sort of manages to swipe at, like, why are the berries covered up? Like, swipes away the covering of this globe, and you see a very angry, disc-eyed moth person in, like, almost up to their knees in dust that is slowly being filtered down, mixed with liquids, and then funneled into this soda. All of the
I'll turn
mothers
to the dwarf.
scream. Okay, go ahead.
Is that Barry? I think that might be Barry, y'all.
Barry.
Okay, seizing this opportunity for stability, the dwarf is going to try to make a persuasion check. Oof, not great. But with her bonus, that's probably like a 17, 18. Like, yes, that is berries. Berries. Did I say berries? I meant Barry. Barry, who we met at a local farm to the east, is what makes the soda.
Farm to plate.
And it does not calm them much, but a titter of like, well, can we actually change our reviews? I have a comment I want to add to my comment card. But the adventures of the group, you see that this is not cool. I think Jade is the most experienced with this Echelblim dust. You've seen it once or twice, right?
Cordelia actually is the most experienced.
Yeah, it's not my first time getting dusted.
Oh, then, Cordelia, you totally recognize that dust that seems to be shedding off of this moth person.
And this fella up, what sort of enclosure is he contained in?
Seems to be a, like, totally, sealed glass globe that is, like, there's, like, a filter at the bottom where the dust is sifting down through a series of tubes.
And how high up is that? approximately?
Maybe like 10, 15 feet off the ground at its lowest point.
I'll call up. Fella, you seem to be in some sort of distress. Can you communicate in any way? Can we help you?
Yes, please, free me. They have me trapped.
It sounds like we gotta bust up that glass sphere.
His kidnapping is illegal, and it makes for a great story on Gatsby.
The dwarf is
That's
like,
certainly true.
no. Let's not break the globe. Barry is just a big kidder, aren't you, Barry? Aren't you, Barry? Barry is like, I just wish to be free and return to my... Looks at you all. Children. Yes, I have many children.
Is there anything that we might climb on to get access to that? Or perhaps, y'all ever done chicken fights where you stack a bunch of people on each other's shoulders? Get like a wobbly tower?
The purse of mothers starts like ant style building like an ant bridge of moms up towards this globe. The dwarf runs out of the room and is like, security, we have an issue. Let us... How are you going to go about breaking it? Just straight up attacking it?
Unless anybody has a better idea, I was going to run up that pyramid of moms and give that glass what for.
I mean, it sounds good to me. I was going to say I could just Eldritch blast it open, but I will instead get my notebook out and start drawing, because this looks amazing.
I will support the pulse of mothers, and I use my strength to make a stable base. Can I do some kind of like athletics check to help him?
Yeah, we'll take an athletics. And then just give me a strength, Cordelia, to break the glass.
17. You can get up there on our shoulders.
The pyramid is stable.
That's a 19 on the die for a 22 strength check.
Ooh, yeah. In one beautiful swoop, you crash the glass open. The moth person, like, thank you, you freed me, time to go off to my trip, and just flies, like, up and out of the room as quickly as possible. Everyone is covered in a shower of this Echelblem dust as it rains down from the globe above you.
I did not think that through.
Oh, it's so pretty. What is this?
It's not great for you, it turns out. I've had some before, and it will get under your skin like you wouldn't believe.
Well, yes, you are coated in it.
Great. I'm just going to write that down on my character sheet. Jade got coated in Echelblem dust. Cool.
Yeah, you see at the top of the stairs, like a few security guards in like, heavy leathers come in and are like, all right, break it up, you moms. And is like shuffling up and they're like, yeah, we didn't do nothing. We saved a man to return him to his family. And we got a little willy there for a second. You see standing at the top of the stairs, Jade, I know you will recognize this person because you let them out of a clay stone statue.
Oh, no.
You recognize where you knew that CEO from and who that younger girl with him is.
Oh, no.
The man in clay in a business suit you saw him with wild hair and a beard. He looks like a business hipster now with a tight man bun on top of his head, glasses on his face, and his beard is braided into a long, it's just a single long braid.
Okay, so to remind my fellow players, I was in a museum and I, was killing some zombies and I got blood on myself, probably not mine. And I leaned on this petrified statue and this guy and this girl became alive again and leaped out of the statue and broke through a wall and ran away.
And in this moment, before we cut to break, he looks at you with the same face of recognition.
Oh no. So I've already told my party members about that, so that was out of character. And in character I say, we meet again. Petrification in red.
Jade. with that single word spoken, we will pick this up after a break, my friends.
I didn't tell him my name.
No, you did not.
How did you find out?
Well, I imagine we're all wearing name tags.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably honestly true.
Just got very good eyesight.
But we'll deal with all that after the break. Today we were joined by... sorry, though, I forgot. I'm supposed to say the next part. Gatsby.
Ah, yes, the story is unfolding before my eyes. Now, the only thing to find out now is how much damage the mothers will take when they inevitably fall over from their massive pyramid. Answers in the comments.
Cordelia.
Howdy, y'all. We got ourselves into another bit of a pickle, didn't we?
And, of course, Jade.
Bye.
And if you like what you heard so far, feel free to leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening to listen to us on. We're happy to read your reviews, so if you want to hear your love for us expressed by one of your favorite characters in their own words, your words, in their voice, leave us a review and we'll read it for you.
Yes, if you wish for us to record an answer phone message, we will gladly do that. If you want us to review your review, we will also do that.
Yeah, trick us.
Very few standards here.
Trick us into proposing for you. We don't care.
That would be great. Do that.
Cool. Well, with that being said, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope that you're enjoying this episode of the Fire Breathing Kittens podcast. Please leave us a review on iTunes.com. If you leave us a review, we'll read it on air. It's fun listening to the words of your review get read by the characters you know and love, so go to iTunes.com and leave us a review today. Can you think of someone who might enjoy this podcast? Please share it with them. Is their birthday coming up? A special anniversary? Would you like us to wish them a happy day on your behalf? You can arrange for us to read your shout-out on air at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com through our partnership with the website Buy Me a Coffee. Do you enjoy reading books? You can find paperbacks and ebooks based on our adventures on Amazon.com in the bookstore, Fire Breathing Kittens, that part's all one word, podcast. The authors do a great job of adapting the stories into fun novels. We also have official merchandise on redbubble.com. Imagine owning a notepad with the Fire Breathing Kitten logo on the front, or a t-shirt with one of your favorite characters. And lastly, I'd like to take a moment to sincerely thank all of you. We don't pay to advertise this show, so the only way we can grow is through the support of listeners like you. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Fire Breathing Kittens. I missed you. Thanks for coming back. We will just quickly recap the first half, and who's gonna do it for us today? Would anyone like to go?
I think we had a little vote beforehand, didn't we? More or less. And it was requested that a professional journalist take this. So, panic erupted this afternoon as mothers descended in their thousands on Aegis Industries. Reports from the time suggest that as many as 912 mothers stormed the offices, demanding information as to the contents of the new Soul Fizz, a drink that is raising quite a lot of eyebrows in the higher echelons of government. However, no one from the company could be contacted at this time to comment, but we will follow this story as it progresses. Our only lead so far is that three seemingly mothery type figures were seen walking into the building sometime beforehand, one of whom was apparently wearing some sort of nun's outfit. However, details are scarce. At the moment, we will follow this up at a later date.
Wonderful. All right. We return to the scene of the mother's attack
crime.
of the crime. Where we find these said mothers being herded out up the stairs and presumably off the premises of Aegis Industries. The dwarven woman who was running the taste test before is like frantically apologizing, Mr. Deluxo, I'm so sorry about this. Okay, the supply chain has been disrupted, clearly, and he just like raises his hand up and then motions out the door, and she very quietly walks out. He looks back down at you three who are standing there, Jade, Cordelia, and the whipped cream and shaving cream covered Gatsby. You are covered head to toe in Eckelblum dust, and he says, "Follow me. Let's get you cleaned up."
Oh, do we trust this fella, y'all?
I trust that he can punch through me as easily as he did the wall earlier. So I will do as he says.
Well,
All right.
I'm perfectly clean. I'm not sure about you two. I'm absolutely fine. Oh, well, on the basis there's all the dust just clogged up on the shaving foam. So my skin is perfect.
You look like a cupcake. It's like that dusty, sparkly, like sprinkles on top.
Well, maybe that's a way to keep it from getting in your skin. If we just all cover ourselves in this the whipped shaved cream, then the dust will stay on the surface of that, and we can just scrape it off.
I mean, that would be ideal, but I am running out. And Jade, I'm afraid I don't have the botulism variant. It's very difficult to get a hold of. I'm not sure why. No one buys this stuff.
And why is it not labeled?
Well, no, that's just me. I just get nervous sometimes. I peel the labels off.
Oh.
But you say we should follow this character?
I am afraid we do not have much choice.
Okay.
I think we always have a choice, but if he can help us, well, maybe we should accept.
That's okay. We'll follow you, dearie. Lead on.
So he turns heel and begins walking down the hallway back to the reception area, where he enters into a large elevator. You hear the winding of gears and steam-powered engines lifting it high to the top of this tower. There is a bellhop on the interior, which, fun fact I heard, bellhops were there because people did not trust elevators when they first invented, and they just felt better having a guy inside because seeing a human made it seem like a human was in charge of the elevator and thus more safe. So, just a fun little fact.
The creators are like, sure, he can die with you.
Yeah. That was basically it, where he's like, I haven't died all day. My job is to stand in the elevator to prove that humans won't die.
Oh.
I mean, it was safe, so, it was probably a pretty okay job to have. I wouldn't hate being a bellhop, depending on how it pays. Okay, side note, the bellhop is there. Not even important, just a little bit of set dressing. The man in clay, petrification in red, quote unquote, Bud Deluxo, is standing there, like, perfectly still and motionless, just sort of focused at the middle distance, as, you dusty and cream-covered people sort of rise in the elevator with him. After a few moments...
So funny weather we're having today, huh?
Yes, there are clouds, he says.
Sure are.
Have you met my friend's micro pig? It is so cute. Look. It has little boots.
Meanwhile, in the back of Gatsby's head, he hears, I wish to feed.
So adorable.
This mortal will do.
He turns his head, looks at it, sniffs the air twice, and you get, like, a distinct feeling of, like, when an animal smells something in the air. His face does not change, and he goes, that's not a pig, and looks back at his middle distance, staring forward.
Are you sure she has little piggy boots? And I you gesture towards the cute, adorable red boots.
He puts a finger up, rubs its tummy, goes coochie, coochie, coo.
Acceptable.
Ding! The elevator's doors open into, you see was probably originally a very stark and intimidating, one of those offices that is, again, marble, but very long, leading to a floor-to-ceiling window that looks out over Nicomoy. There's one desk at the far end. It's meant to be big, empty, and imposing. But you see small groups of, children playing. There's a number of animals out moving around. Someone has erected, a small cook fire where they appear to be cooking. And, everyone here appears to be, martial classes, heavily leaning towards barbarians. There's maybe, 36 people in this room. And he, is walking without looking them to the other end and sits behind the table. What do you do?
And, this is where we're gonna get cleaned up? I'm afraid I don't understand.
Yes. He motions. One of the barbarians has, fresh clothes and, a small, pitcher, a basin with water and a few rags. And feel free to clean yourselves and borrow clothes. You may keep them. Zardak is a wonderful leather worker. You see, a big, gruff, bald-headed human barbarian, blushes and goes back to sewing together, a pair of bracers.
Oh, thank you,
It is true.
dearie. I'm afraid I need to go into the bathroom to put this on modesty and all that. I am merely an old woman.
Of course. The bathroom is down the hall, or I believe there are a few tents erected for napping in the northern corner of this far too big meeting hall.
Yeah, Gran, would you like a hand there?
No, it's okay. I'll take the monorail.
Cool. There, you see there's a Sherpa service to get you to the other end of this room. There's numerous taxis. A small single-engine airplane can also fly you to the other end. Yeah, you head off. Are you actually going to the bathroom to change, or?
Oh, yes. Because if I start cleaning my face off, they'll realize that I'm not an old woman.
And women, we always go to the bathroom in groups, so we will go with you.
Oh, yes, that is true. I know that. I do that all the time. Because I am an old woman.
Yeah, we know, Gran. We'll take care of you. We'll get you cleaned up.
Good, take my bag.
And then we all go together to the bathroom.
Cool. So, cut to bathroom. Interior. Day.
You guys, that is a statue person who came to life. I told you about him and her. That is them. Actually, I'm going to stop being patriarchal. Those are the statue people who came to life. The woman and the man. Both of them.
Do you know how they came about? You said you got blood on them?
Yep.
Well, I guess I never bled on a statue before.
But yeah.
I mean, it is a common occurrence.
I feel like we just live wildly different lives, you and I. That's wonderful.
But what I don't get, aside from where the urinals are, but why would they want to take over this company if they've just come to life? Surely they'd be out going to buffets and, I don't know, theme parks. That's what I'd do.
You can use a stall and we will run the water in the sink so we do not hear anything. And I do not know. What do you think, Cordelia? Why would someone be motivated to make soda pop?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I also don't know where they got the seed money for that kind of investment. That machinery and the magic, that can't be cheap. And if they just came out of the stone, well, if they had a pocket full of money, maybe, but I don't know how good it'd be.
Well, the money's an easy one. Just because the company was already here and they simply took over the position of CEO. I suspect the the big glowing orb was new. But I'm thinking more about their motivations for the time being, rather than the technical how-to of the situation.
I kind of shout because you're in a stall, so you can hear me. Well, you can just go out and ask them. They do not appear to be directly harming us. I mean, apart from I am now covered now, this doesn't... I tried to wash it off, but it had worked its way into my skin. What?
Yeah, that'll happen. I'm about there myself.
And now it's gone entirely. Where did it go?
Oh, as you, wash yourself off and as Cordelia had explained, it gets into your skin, you notice that it's coming off very easily. Cordelia, you've had it in you before. It's not doing the same thing as last time.
Well, this doesn't seem as bad. Perhaps it's a different variant or strain or some such.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Yeah, maybe if they meant it for ingestion, it's some sort of thing that they were doing to it that made it different. I don't know. Sure wish we could ask that bug fella. I hope he's all right and got back to his family.
Oh, that is right. These people are criminals. They were holding a Barry hostage. We should come back with a whole patrol of town guards to arrest them for detention without consent.
Well, I'm with you there. Do you have means of contacting them?
Yes, I have my former partner. I can call them.
I mean, we could do that, or... I was expecting someone else to fill in the gaps there. Have you ever considered the idea of making things worse?
I do delve in that area.
Well, I was just thinking, if they've done some nefarious things, there will be more nefarious things that they would be willing or able to do. And forgive me if I'm incorrect, but worse nefarious things tend to be a little bit easier to arrest people on than less nefarious things.
So if we trick them into murdering us, they'll go away for longer? I don't see how that helps.
I'm not saying murdering us. I'd be okay with them murdering you.
I get that.
Yeah, well, I've got a report to do.
Yeah, you got your work.
I've got dinner plans,
Oh, where are you going? That sounds lovely.
I was going to go to Mancini's on Grapevine Boulevard. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that their pasta is just divine, but we haven't gotten Sable.
It's a very nice place, but it takes months to get a reservation, and I've been waiting for so long, and...
Well, of course, yeah, they can't murder you, not with a reservation at Mancini's.
Oh. It's actually part of the law in the town. If you've got a reservation, you legally cannot be murdered. I mean, under normal circumstances, you cannot legally be murdered anyway, but, there's a special provision given for people who have
extra
reservations.
legal.
Yes, you've got extra legal protection.
The number of times that I have had to enforce extra murder charges because of the person at the reservation at Mancini's, I cannot say.
Yeah, I mean, the Safiosi family they have stakes in Mancini's. That's why they get off so easily all the time. They always have that reservation when they need it.
So we shall trick them into murdering Gatsby because they have reservation at Mancini's and twice the charge. Okay, I get the plan. Let's go.
Oh, no. I did not think about that.
And then we all leave the bathroom.
Cool. So you're dressed in fresh barbarian leathers. The fabric for the...
Wait, I have a scroll of Revivify Gatsby, so I'm going to bring it back. It's okay.
You're still making that reservation. Okay, so you head back into the long hall. You see that Man in Clay, Bud Delexo. What title do we want to go with for him? Man in Clay? I don't know. What's our preferred
I don't remember names anyway, so...
Fair enough. So the Man in Clay is behind the table, just sort of quietly waiting. You see he appears to be, going through flashcards.
Gatsby is terrible around statues. He's destroyed 3 this week. He's so clumsy. Just shattered them. The little head pops off. is terrible. Gatsby, you should stop destroying these statues. So clumsy. Just don't pick them up, I say.
Who's Gatsby, dear? I'm
yeah.
Mrs. Give me minutes.
He escapes death. Yeah.
The person behind the desk nods and then looks at you and goes, yes, thank you for freeing me. In return, I am attempting to save your world. Why have you interrupted what I am attempting to do? And he looks at you purely confused, like no hint of anger in his face.
You know, we got lost. We're very bad with directions.
No deception check needed.
Yeah. All
Well,
right.
that's true, I suppose. But I suppose I saw a man trapped, and he needed help, so I let him out.
That was not a man. That was an invader from another realm who wishes to steal joy from your world, as well as your children. And you have freed him.
Well, maybe you should have led with that instead of the soda pop.
I put a sheet over him, as to avoid confusion. Was the sheet removed?
Yeah, that sheet was removed a little bit.
I am not from your realm. Is it commonplace when lost to begin removing sheets?
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's uncommon.
If
You see,
want
he
to
writes
stop
a new
that happening-
flashcard. He writes a new flashcard and sticks it in the deck of how to be a human.
If you want to stop that happening, dearie, you really need to put a sign on that says "Do not touch."
Yes, that will stop everyone.
He
Perhaps
raises
use
his
something a bit
hand.
sturdier than a cloth.
He raises his hand and goes, Gregor, take notes. And one of the barbarians, he has big, meaty, meat hook hands and has a tiny little notebook that he's scrawling with, like, a golf pencil in. It looks very funny. And he begins writing, all right, sign. There we go. Heavier cloth.
I noticed that there are more of you. Last time there was only you. And I look around for the woman who is in the statue.
My daughter. She is out at one of your fashion magazine photo shoots. Apparently she is very comely by your standards.
So there are more of you?
Oh, these are beings from your realm. I have been scouting the tribes of your warriors and inviting them a place in the position of defending your realm from invaders. Apparently, you have a coinage system that has blocked them from proper housing, so I invited them here.
Yes, housing is such a difficulty. I hear some people have to sleep on printing presses. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, it's not that I have to, it's that I want to, and also that I'm contractually obliged to. It has nothing to do with it.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but you fully dropped character right there, correct? Or incorrect?
Whoops. Role-playing within role-playing within role-playing. It's definitely my bad.
No. Oh, no.
You see he...
Nun just has
sorry.
this deep male
Sorry.
voice. Come on.
I mean, it has to happen
Sorry,
once
I have
every...
a cold.
Every movie where someone is pretending to be someone else always has to have that, what'd you say? He, like the Rock style, raises an eyebrow and goes on. It was difficult collecting one of these bug people. I will be very distracted by returning him. And the deal that I have set up to acquire more of your coinage will now most assuredly fall through, as well as the plan to inoculate your population against the Echelblum dust.
Oh, gosh.
Could you walk me
the
through-
player is very sad. The character has no idea what she did. Oh.
Could you walk me through this inoculation process? I'm not sure I follow. You trap this bug man and then you drink him? How does that help anybody?
When processed, through magical means that I have discovered in your realm, the Eckelbim dust can be turned not only consumable, but grant you a great boon. I believe I made it very clear by the name. It fizzes your soul.
I thought that was just a bit of fluff. I'm sorry.
No, I was trying to be very direct. Did they not go with my slogan? Use this to protect yourself from invaders from another realm and bolster your power within?
Nah, they went with fizzy, yeah, I think is what I remember. But maybe that's what I suggested. It's tough to say.
I think they might have gone for let's get physical.
I guess I kind of like fizzy, yeah, more. But I asked them to
we're
make
not
it...
the marketing department, who's to say?
Yes, I trusted this company's marketing department to express my wishes to as many consumers as possible. Get it out to the people.
So maybe that's something you ought to put on your flashcards there, dearie. Don't trust marketing departments. They're paid to lie.
Yeah, that's real.
Scribble, scribble, scribble. New card added to the deck.
And there's no means of inoculation of the population without cruelty to these folk that are trapped.
You see, for the first time in this encounter, he shows emotion, visceral anger. They deserve no sympathy. Anything that we have done to them is a fraction of what they have done to me and my people. They rule our realm with an iron fist. And now that I am here, instead of enjoying freedom, I am protecting you people from it. So, do not, as you say, get it twisted. They are lucky I did not kill him on the spot. He takes a breath, looks back at the flashcard that says don't get angry, and goes...
Perhaps you could tell me a little bit about your realm. For us, without context, it just seems like cruelty begets cruelty, I suppose, and that's just gonna go cyclical on you.
Well, our realm was once beautiful, pastoral, endless forests, living in perfect synchronicity with nature, until the Eckelblims began taking to the skies at night. We not know where they came from, whether they are from our world or somewhere even more distant. But our dead rose from the ground. Suddenly we were cordoned off, blocked out by hordes of our loved ones, our children going missing in the night, stolen away by flying bugs. So yes, cruelty begets cruelty, but this is the cruelty that they deserve, and I will break this cycle. And you see when he says break, his face sort of snarls up, and you realize that this is a much more primitive version of humans. If Homo erectus and that sort of Neanderthal, if the Neanderthals took off instead of Homo erectus, they are a much more primal version of humans.
So why were you a statue?
I was forced there by the Eckelblim, because I wished to lead my people in uprising. They solidified me and my family in stone. Over the ages, broken into pieces, scattered in a distant realm. I was lucky I had my daughter with me when Jade freed me. And now, I hunt for my wife and son. I invited the most noble members of your society, I assume, the matrons, to test it first, the first round of inoculations. But apparently you used them to storm and free the Eckelblim.
Well, yeah, that did happen, technically. I do feel a bit bad about that now. I thought we were doing somebody a kindness. Yeah. But, you weren't real upfront about what we were signing on for. We thought it was just tasting a fizzy drink.
Yes, you were asked to come into a room, drink a beverage, and then leave. We understand how that was misleading.
Well, we did that. We did that very well.
Oh, it was enjoyable.
Oh, it was a tasty drink, and I wouldn't mind another couple, but yeah.
Well, that pleases me. Do not worry, we will find and return or hunt another echo blim. I am more concerned in the short term, as I have what you call investors coming.
Yeah.
My means of production have been impacted, and the factory tour, I'm afraid, will be somewhat less impressive of a feat.
Maybe you could tell them the story about how cool it looked when we smashed that thing and the statue of people all held up and strong and, no, I'm gonna pull everybody else for an aside. Y'all, I think we might owe him a favor or two to make this right.
I think you're right, Cordelia. And when you said tell him a story, spin him a yarn, I cannot help but think of only one person with us. Please, take the lead. What story should we tell these investors, do you think, our investigative reporter, Mary? I'll try to get your name right for one, because I've been out of you.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I haven't really been helping myself on that account, but... well, I think if you want to keep the investors happy, just give them some of the drink. They'll be happy, and they'll run around and then tire themselves out, and they'll sleep nicely tonight. Seems quite easy to me.
I think you might be onto something. What if we... the reduction of supply can increase demand. If you make this some sort of exclusive soft open for now, while we sort out
we say it's
some other means
limited
of
edition.
increase in production, maybe just a select few. They gotta know you could put out a map, and the people who figure out the puzzle pieces that get in, then they find the password, then they can use that to get this magic potion that makes you zoom and feels good and tastes delicious. It really was divine. But maybe some means of driving up the interest, but keeping the supply low for now.
Interesting. Will you attend the meeting with me?
Well, I feel like that is the very least I could do for you.
How can we make a product seem scarce and desirable? Any ideas? You mentioned a contest, or what can we do to make everybody wants this, and a lottery? A competition? Really high prices?
I mean, really
think
high
any
prices
of
would
those
work.
are
People
good.
would pay, whatever, if it's expensive, just because it is expensive. Or maybe we could kill 2 insects with 1 banana, as it were. Maybe we should say that they play a game of we've released a bug into the town, and if you catch it and bring it in, you'll get a lifetime supply of the drink.
I believe these folks are rather dangerous, though, are they not?
I mean,
yeah.
doesn't have to be our problem. People will do anything for a lifetime supply of something.
Okay, so the price is 1,000 gold, or if you bring in one of these emblem mouse persons. Oh, it's a competition. They are wearing a mouse costume. They are like company mascot, a mascot. And you need to catch them and bring them in to win your 1 can.
Yes. So we effectively
I
tried
wonder-
1 can of this stuff for the preventing the destruction of the universe. That sounds about right.
That might be associating a bit too closely, though. Then the brand gets all tied in with it. I don't know. This isn't
Well,
my
there's
forte,
always going
though.
to be some teething problems, but I think we'll be okay, to be honest.
Awesome. Cool. So you guys get your plan in place, get ready your presentation to the board, and yeah, we'll say just like an hour passes. The man in clay is like, "Are you hungry? Can I feed you?" Or...
I mean, that's a bit of a strange way to ask, but we could eat.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Depends on what your feed does, I think.
Beef.
I could go for some beef.
Cool. So
Is it cooked?
yeah, so like you guys are waiting for a little bit. Eventually a whole roast cow is brought in, and he begins ripping into it with all the barbarians, just barehanded chunks of, barbecued beef. And that helps
I'll
pass.
produce my mess kit.
Oh, look, it's this Russians that I have brought with me. And I take out like a bento box and a bottle of wine. Oh, no, say well here.
So, Jade, did your wife crush those grapes?
I you know you can come to my house and ask Kel. You seem so comfortable in that garden. Why don't we sit you down?
I'm just saying I didn't notice any grapevines in that garden of yours.
Yeah, and I didn't know she was a glass blower as well. Did she make the bottle too? Or
I don't believe she's eaten the glass, though. Perhaps I'm mistaken.
I've been doing it so wrong. That explains so much.
I have been thinking we should have a chat.
He gets out another index card. Don't eat glass.
Yeah, I know this is an audio medium, but my mouth has been gushing blood this whole time.
It's been really off-putting to all of us.
Spooky. Cool. So eventually, you see that led into the room is a very slick-looking drow man with small round sunglasses and a very, very fancy suit. You see it's made of glamour weave, so it lightly shifts with magical properties and just, is basically probably cost the down payment on a house. He is attended by a very rotund looking human who's very short, looks like a little walking bowling ball. And there is a dwarven woman there who's wearing furs wrapped around her. She looks a little bit cold and a little bit nervous. And 4 large minotaurs are there as well. She is introduced by one of the employees at Aegis who walk them up to the room as Samantha Dillahunt, CEO of Consent Creameries Incorporated. And this is Blythe Horde of Horde Holdings. He also would have given you a quick explanation, the reason why these two are interested as Consent Creameries. They have a far-reaching distribution network. So, if they were to, merge together, he would be able to get the product out to more places, and Consent's, a known name in the culinary world. And Horde Holdings is a famous import-exporter, so he would be able to get it potentially in more continents as well.
I'm just marveling at how she was like a cow farmer or something. Oh my gosh.
She wanted to go off and be a milkmaid.
She was, oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, listen to the adventure, Missives from a Corpse. Just listen to that anyway. It's a fantastic adventure, but oh my gosh, the seeding on the storytelling. The seed has blossomed.
I listened to it again yesterday just to be correct, because once it clicked, I was like, oh, she's a milkmaid. This is perfect.
Whoa. Mind blown.
Yeah, and of course she was super chill, so she would lean towards a consent-based,
She would. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so for everyone else, it's just a one-off. You can listen to these in any order, but there's Easter eggs if you listen to them all. Okay.
And if you've heard that one first, there's an Easter egg for you. If one of you, it just happened to you and you're like, oh man, it's them. I'm talking directly to you. What's up? You look good.
Nice hair today.
Yeah, nice hair. And also, I think you might have left the oven on, so go check it.
Go check it.
One person is freaking out right now. Okay, so they enter in. You see the minotaurs kind of line up around the table. Some of the barbarians in the hall are all right, okay. I like the style. I respect that. Blythe Horde has just his used car salesman grin plastered onto his face, walks up, shakes hand with the man in clay, and goes, hi, Blythe Horde. lovely to meet you. I hope we can both make each other fabulously wealthy. This is my friend here, Samantha Dillahunt. He nods at her. She, like, politely puts her hand out, and he, like, shakes it very gently. We go back a long time, and, we like to try to go in on investments together, you know? She kind of looks up at him and goes, I am perfectly happy running my creamery, but Blythe's investments have always proved true, and I have a feeling that you might be a good person to trust. Wink. So he, like, explains that you talk business, numbers, and things like that, and then the subject of, well, can we tour the factory? Comes up, and he kind of, like, not goes wide-eyed, but, like, for his limited range of emotion, like, looks at you guys kind of like, all right, take it over.
I'm happy talking a lot, but I don't speak particularly well. And I'll look at Gatsby there.
I have an idea. Yes, you certainly can take a quick tour of the factory. We have a very impressive factory floor. I'm sure you'll be absolutely thrilled. However, there is a small health and safety concern. We obviously want to keep you safe, but at this moment, all of our high visibility jackets are currently being used, so we cannot let you into the factory floor itself. However, it is possible for you just to stand outside the doors and just peek in through the windows, and I'm sure you'll get everything you need there. So guys, basically what I'm gonna do is when they're outside looking in, I'm just gonna cast minor illusion to make it look like there's stuff going on in the other way. Because I can't make anything big, but I can make little things as you're looking through the window. So they're small, but they think it's far away.
Yeah, I mean, you also just need a window-sized illusion. And they won't know that they're, you know.
That's exactly what I was trying to say. I just said it in a very roundabout, sort of long way.
Yeah. Cool. So Blythe is gonna... Could you roll... I mean, persuasion or deception. Like, you know.
I think I've got even on either.
I had a feeling.
That is a 21 on either.
Ooh, okay. Blythe, usually a trickster can sense another trickster, but totally blinded by your costume. And it's just like, oh, okay. Rolled a 2 on the dice.
It is also true that there aren't any high visibility jackets left. We took them all.
Perfect. So you're pretty familiar with where the factory is now. Like, you're getting a pretty good layout of Aegis Industries. You descend the elevator with them. Would you like to make any small talk in the elevator?
I would like to... oh, wait, I don't actually have that, but I would like to try and convince one of them that they farted.
Okay. Roll a persuasion.
I'll just be like, who did that?
Oh my goodness, this is a very sticky round bowling ball you have here.
Yeah, you were trying to convince them they farted, and Dieter just apropos goes like, oh no, that was me. You realize that he actually did fart. So the elevator dings, you're led to the factory floor.
I just got it.
He sees this as like a freeing, him to release all of his farts that he had been holding in. It's like, well, they're smelling, so I'm dealing.
You see he physically deflates a little bit, like letting air out of a balloon.
The bellhop has collapsed.
Yeah. That's the worst part of the job, honestly. That's the real danger. Is you just have to smell people pretending they didn't fart in elevators all day.
Oh.
Cool. So yeah, can I get that minor illusion? Is it a DC to see through it, or what's the wording here?
Let's have a look. As far as I know, Yes. Physical interaction reveals it to be an illusion, but if I'm doing it on the other side of the door, then they're not going to. Let's see. If a creature uses its action to examine the sound or image, the creature can determine that it is an illusion with a successful intelligence check against my spell save DC.
There we go.
So if they're specifically looking for it to be strange, so if they're looking at it skeptically...
It's that they're looking at it not... I mean, is it skeptically or just closely? Because they are trying to look through the door into what they think is the factory. So they are looking
Well, it's a long way away.
Okay.
They probably don't have such good eyesight.
Let's go. I'm going to do it anyway, but I'm going to give them disadvantage.
Okay, well, it's a 15. This is going to go so wrong.
Okay, so Samantha Dillahunt does not notice anything odd with it, but Blythe Horde kind of like sees something a little fishy. You see he removes his sunglasses, puts them back down, and Dieter, he motions to Dieter, and Dieter real quickly casts Detect Magic and then opens the door, where you see, like, on the other side of the glass, the illusion is still floating there midair. Blythe goes, what do we got going on here?
Well, I've never seen that before.
Samantha Dillahunt goes like, oh my, it seems there's an accident that happened. And,
Well, I mean, if that is the case, then it's very important that we not be in here. It's a health and safety nightmare. No one's got any high visibility jackets. No one's wearing a hard hat. Everyone leave immediately. We'll investigate this. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
This is a cleaning dust. It
Yes.
it prepares the factory for the next batch. You must clean in between.
Yes, it's like in farming. You've got to have crop rotation. You know that? Basically, every time you do a
Yes.
successful batch, you've got to destroy the entire apparatus before you can start a new one.
Yes. By coating it in this dust, it's like at the end of your farming season. You know, you have to fertilize for the next. Well, similarly, we are sanitizing, disinfecting this factory. So in food production, it's very important to be clean.
all right, give me a group, just charisma-based check. It could be either persuasion or deception, because we're getting a little truth, a little lie, like, just as long as it's based off the charisma skill, you're good.
So that will be a 22 on, well, deception, persuasion, what have you.
21 on persuasion. It must be clean for the food quality.
Yeah, this stuff's very rare, hard to come by. We don't want to waste any keeping these doors open. That's a 15 for Cordelia.
Okay, cool. So that's like the group check. 2 of you are above 20, so that's not only a pass, but it's a very good pass. And Blythe immediately pulls out a handkerchief, covers his face, and closes the door quickly. He goes, well, I'm not happy about the illusion, but I understand. You got to do what you got to do. I'm sure he's going to make an influence check real quick. Yeah, he rolled low on his insight. So he's like, I'm sure somebody knocked something over. Or sorry, they were doing the cleaning dust, embarrassed about it, just put up the illusion to make it look like everything's normal. Nobody wants
It's just quite literally a bit of window dressing is all.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, let's get this paperwork signed. And he starts, like, walking down the hallway, and, like, crossing in the hall as your cadre of people. Jade, you recognize the girl in clay. You see, she's like, maybe 19, 21, very tall and equally as, like, muscular, as her father is. Her hair is in, like, a big bubble ponytail, that goes, like, halfway down her back. She's dressed in, like, sort of like chainmail dress, but like micro chainmail dress. And there's a big spear slung on her back. She walks in, does sign language with her hands, and then like a sort of subtitles appears in front of her. And, it says like, hey dad, how's it going? And he like goes like, daughter, you've returned. How was people taking pictures of you? She, like, again, she speaks in sign language, but, like, magically subtitles herself for everyone else. Went great. met a potential new ally named Stella. Very beautiful, very powerful. He goes, that is good. She will aid our cause and be excellent in the company of Niels. Everyone give me an insight check.
15.
15 here as well.
19.
You just like are kind of like, waiting there talking, and get the distinct vibe that Samantha Dillahunt is just absolutely smitten by this girl, the girl in clay, or as she is known, Meg Deluxo, short for Mega. And so you just see she's beat red and like eyes are almost tearing up because she hasn't blinked since this girl walked down the hall. Like the Bud Deluxo is like, please let's move this back to my office. We can sign the paperwork there. And like another moment passes. Do you guys want to attempt any conversation or get anything else done?
I will just poke Samantha on the shoulder and just say, if you want, I can always, if you can wait 2 or 3 months, I can get you a reservation at Manzini's.
Oh, Manzini's. She is from far out of town, so I'll make a check, but still knows Manzini's, so...
I mean, as you should.
Yeah. Oh, Manzini's. That's very hard to get into. Yeah, I would love that. I don't often go out to eat. I normally cook for myself.
Well, I know someone like that, and they're quite boring. So, Manzini's place to be. I look over my shoulder, see if Jade heard what I just said.
Oh, I don't cook.
Oh, good. So she doesn't mind I'm insulting her wife. Okay, noted.
You feel like a powerful hand clasp onto your shoulder, and then like single hand sign language. Ha ha ha, me neither. By the way, thanks for freeing us from the stone.
It is so nice to officially meet you. Hello, I am Jade.
Lovely to meet you, Jade.
I don't know what to say. I feel like the plot has told itself.
Yeah, we're pretty much there.
Yeah.
You get a signage fee from the Aegis Industries for help facilitating this deal. It's like a fraction of a percentage of the total expected profits for the next year, which they will pay you ahead of time, roughly 3,500 gold each. The Aegis Industries new CEO, Bud Deluxo, is like very pleased with what you've done, aside from letting out the bug, but the deal still went through, and he has enough to distribute in storage for a few weeks. Hopefully they can get him back by then.
If you need someone to dress up in a mouse costume and run around town for the competition, we have possibly some volunteers. There are so many mothers. Perhaps, Cordelia, are your children interested in dressing up as a mouse and running around?
Perhaps they might be. I mean, Eden's pretty quick, and Hunter, he loves running, and I'm not slow myself, so if that's a helpful thing, I think we might be able to get the whole Magrathi family involved.
We could have an event where we capture the mouse, and your Hunter and Eden can dress up as the mouse, training the population to, if they see a mouse, bring it into us.
I often enjoyed hunting bugs as a boy myself.
Yes, the bug hunt.
This will be fun for children.
We should.
So, with that, we are gonna actually wrap it up here. Funny enough, little peek behind the DM screen, they basically did it in reverse. I figured the thing would get out at the end. That is not what happened. So, Bud Deluxo is like, okay, we'll set up Bug Hunt Day. We can contact the fire-breathing kittens to get a hold of you. And whatever nunnery I assume you were at, sister.
Oh, don't worry about me. The message will come through.
Wonderful. Cool. So you guys leave. We're just gonna have one little end cap scene as Gatsby, the actual Gatsby himself, delivers off the recording equipment to Bison Bill Caraway.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. It's going to be quite embarrassing.
Cool. So, it's just that thing where, the scene starts as he basically hits, stop on, the tape recorder at the, end of the adventure and just looks at you like, what happened? You were supposed to see what was going on, not start new problems while you're there.
Well, if you don't want me to do things my way, don't ask me to do the job.
Did you get any files or any information on the company?
I got a consultation payment, if that counts.
Alright, well, you're buying drinks. And he,
Yes, but for me. I've got dinner plans.
Oh, don't tell me you have reservations to Mancini's.
Oh, you know it.
Oh, Gatsby.
He would kill you, but you have reservations to Mancini's.
Yeah, if I wouldn't get double murder charged for this. Cool. So, joining us this time on this journey of corporate espionage and fizzy beverages was Jade.
Goodbye.
Cordelia.
I'll see you, everybody.
And Gatsby.
I have to tell you, I forgot the recording equipment was there, so if that were the case, then I may not have spent so much time peeing in the bathroom. That was about 15 minutes of the entire recording. It was very embarrassing to have to live again.
So many pee breaks.
He was just sat there staring at me stony-faced.
What? How much water do you drink? All right. Bye, guys.
I don't know what to tell you. It just happens. Is that not normal? Maybe it is the botulism variant. Jade, where's that lay on hands?
I after you wash them.
Well, obviously.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, it's your friend Josie here from the Speaking in Church podcast, where I co-host a wonderful show with Spencer Rose Taylor, all about how the evangelical church has f***ed with us majorly. We talk to regular people about regular things that regularly happen to us while in that shithole, and we bitch about it. Join us as we build a brand new community full of irreverent humans that just love to stick it to the man. We're the women that they didn't want speaking in church. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, this is Brian, one of 4 washed-up frat boy jerks that host the boring podcast, BOHRING, a mix of unfiltered, un-PC comedy, tales of woe, and, of course, resentment. Join us as we break down a little bit of reality TV, bust some balls, and, of course, play our #1 leading game show, What's in That Ass?, where we have 20 questions to figure out what people got stuck in their butts. The boring podcast, BOHRING, anywhere pods are heard. And remember, hating is healthy.
So, I hear you're doing a one-man history show.
That's right. Relevant History is a one-man podcast where I talk about all kinds of historical events. Did you know that a lot of people think the Ark of the Covenant still exists in Ethiopia?
I did not.
What about the Prophet Muhammad? Did you know he used to be a merchant sailor who traveled at least as far as India?
I had no clue.
That's why you should listen to Relevant History. It's a one-man podcast where I take a deep dive into all kinds of historical events. The first season is about the idea of nationalism and how different societies formed their sense of national identity.
What if I want to be a part of the show? Is this a lecture?
You can't. It's a one-man show. But if you want to listen, you can find the podcast at dantollerpodcast.com. That's Dan, T-O-L-E-R podcast.com. Or you can search for Relevant History on any major streaming platform.
I like that.